During an interview, Adrian Reister, a former nuclear weapons technician, recounted a pair of paranormal events involving the nuclear weapons at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri from more than 15 years ago. And the details are fascinating. Are you ready to hear his testimony?
Section 51.
Hi everyone, what's up guys, DOZgeek here with Section 51. Big thanks again for your support to the channel and welcome to the new subscribers. As always, first, please hit that like button and share this new video right now to keep supporting Section 51. And don't forget, of course, to watch this video until the end. During an interview with the Liberation Times, Adrian Reister, a former nuclear weapons technician, recounted a pair of paranormal events involving the nuclear weapons at Whiteman Air Force Base from more than 15 years ago, and the details are fascinating. Whilst stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, between 2003 and 2007, Adrian Reister claims to have witnessed two incidents involving unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP, entering restricted airspace above the base and a serious security breach involving a shadow person, who Reister chased within the base. Reister was a highly skilled technician trusted to handle nuclear weapons. But due to the lack of clear guidelines and stigma associated with such high strangeness, Reister felt unable to report the incidents to senior officers, and today he wanted to talk about all that.
Nothing was ever reported, because if you did, you might be considered mentally unstable and have your clearance and PRP status, Personal Reliability Program, revoked. I learned to maintain, dismantle, destroy, transport, and provide security for the nuclear arsenal assigned to our base.
His credentials have been confirmed, and due to the nature of his responsibilities, he is a credible source. Whilst serving at the base, Reister was very familiar with a whole host of USAF craft, including the B-2, F-117 and A-10, which would take off, land and maneuver around the area. But in two instances, he witnessed objects which he could neither identify nor explain. In his first encounter, Reister spotted an orb hovering along the top of the tree line when a nuclear weapon was being transported within the base.
Naturally, during this time I am being hyper-vigilant, and I notice a light or orb hovering along the top of the tree line. I thought it was just a star at the time, but as I continued surveilling the area, the orb shot above the treetops and hung there for some time. Maybe it was a satellite, I thought. As the transport team arrived and secured the weapon within the facility, the orb bounced a little in the sky, then shot to the left, the north, then shot 90 degrees straight up and disappeared.
The object was unlike anything encountered by Reister before, despite his familiarity with all types of aircraft at the base. The behavior exhibited by the object does not appear to match anything publicly known within the USAF arsenal. It also exhibited at least one of the famous 5 observables, instantaneous acceleration. On a separate occasion, Reister saw another orb above the base whilst on sentry duty. The orb was stationary before disappearing like in the first incident.
All of the orbs or sky phenomena that I personally saw were the same single glowing orb, yellowish-white tint to it.
But the most significant incident, which haunts Reister to this day, involves what can be best described as a shadow person. During the summer of 2006, Reister was working in the base's support section deep into the night between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. He was by himself, as one training crew was locked in a separate bay performing work on a trainer bomb. He then began to hear footsteps from bare feet, not the sound of steel-toe combat boots he was accustomed to hearing. That's when events took a very weird turn.
The sound went away as I looked up and scanned the room. Not seeing anything, I just shrugged my shoulders and went back to work. Within a few more minutes I heard barefoot walking again, away from the support area, and this time I got up to look around. I saw what I can't really describe as other than a black mass in the shape of a person standing at 6 feet. Not really a shadow, but something that was slightly blurry and didn't reflect any light. It quickly turned the corner into the admin area of the shop, and I chased after it like a madman. As I ran down the length of the wall from the support section and into the admin area, I searched high and low. There's not really a lot of places to hide in that section. Just a few offices and a break room. I'd been thorough in my search, but I still ended up empty-handed.
As Reister puts it, nobody enters or exits the base without processing through the front security doors. All other doors were secured at the time and had security seals that are broken if a door is opened. If that were to occur, USAF security forces are notified of a breach. On the night of the event, no seals were broken and it cannot be explained how this figure entered and exited the facility. The shadow person encountered by Reister is not an isolated event. Whatever it represents, such incidents must be taken seriously. Incidentally, Whiteman Air Force Base is also home to the 509th bomber wing that recovered the alleged crashed craft at Roswell. It is unclear whether the orbs spotted by Reister reflected Russian or Chinese technology, but that certainly poses a problem, especially if serious security breaches are occurring to this day at nuclear facilities. And if security is breached, global security is at risk. Although such encounters seem like the stuff of science fiction, we cannot ignore claims that nuclear weapons bases are being infiltrated. And it certainly is a fact that invisibility cloaking has been experimented with by militaries across the world. In fact, the US military has certainly already experimented an invisibility suit which would render the wearer as a colored shadow or ghost image. If such incidents described by Reister are occurring regularly without the knowledge of senior military officials and elected members of Congress and those within the White House responsible for security, then it represents a serious defense issue. It remains uncertain whether the USAF is aware of the extent of security breaches itself, due to the stigma that may persist today. Moreover, such encounters between UAP and nuclear weapons have been reported since the 1940s. And in 1967, Robert Salas, a non-duty commander of a nuclear missile base in Montana, claims too that nuclear missiles were inexplicably disabled while a UAP silently hovered nearby. At a press conference in October 2021, Salas, with 3 other former veterans, spoke about their encounters with UAP whilst working with the US most destructive weapons. Of course, all this could be complete nonsense, but there are simply way too many examples of serious testimonies talking about strange stuff involving UFOs to not at least ask a few questions. I hope you enjoyed this new video. You can find us on social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. As usual, don't forget to hit that like button and that bell button too. Don't forget to share the video and to subscribe to Section 51. Thank you. This was DOZgeek with Section 51. I'll be back really soon. Open your eyes, watch the sky, live long and prosper.